Toluca is in Cancun. It's not Puerto Vallarta. And heck, it's probably not on most people's list of relocation of best places to live in Mexico. So, what if that's actually what makes it a best kept secret? I mean, it has really good weather, it has a great infrastructure, modern amenities, and it's only an hour away from Mexico City, which is Mexico's largest city. Welcome back to Mexico Relocation Guide. My name is Mariana, and by the end of this video, you will learn more about what it's like to actually live in Toluca. And this might just be, again, one of Mexico's best kept secrets. So let's dive into this city before the crowds start catching on. By the end of this video, you will learn more about the cost of living, a couple of rental examples, what neighborhoods we recommend checking out, how to get around, what medical options you have, some cons of living in Toluca, and so much more. So what do you say? Let's get started. Comencemos. Now, Toluca is the capital city of the state of Mexico, Estado de Mexico, which is one of the 32 states in the country. Now, it sits in a valley. It is centrally located and lies just 39 miles southwest of Mexico City, or as you might have well seen it, CDMX. Now, this makes it a key part of the greater metropolitan region, and many people actually commute back and forth between Mexico City and Toluca for work. Now, the Toluca metropolitan area is a bustling hub comprising of several municipalities with a total population of over 2.3 million people. And the city of Toluca proper is home to nearly 1 million of those residents, which makes it one of Mexico's most populated cities. Now, Toluca is a city that's 8,700 feet above sea level, and right away you'll notice one thing. It's definitely much cooler here, and much cooler than most of Mexico for that matter. And that's because Toluca has a subtropical highland climate, which gives you a refreshing break from the heat. So if you're looking for a city that doesn't get too hot really ever, Toluca might just be it. Now, from June through September, you'll experience Toluca's warm and rainy season. But don't let the word warm fool you, because average highs stay around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you visit in May, it's a little warmer with highs near 72 and lows around 46. It's that perfect light sweater kind of weather, right before the summer rains kick in. Now, we visited in mid-June, and the weather felt incredible. Now, even though it was summer, we could walk around for hours without overheating. Around Metepec, the skies were mostly cloudy, but still, you can catch some moments of sunshine. Just bring an umbrella and you'll be totally fine. Now, the city is still very walkable and easy to enjoy, even if it rains just a little bit. But here's a tip. Mornings and evenings do tend to get very chilly, so don't forget a jacket, especially if you're heading out early or you're going to be staying out late. Also, keep in mind that due to the high altitude, the sun can be quite intense. So it's a good idea to always have sunscreen on hand, along with a good moisturizer for the dry air, especially during the winter months. Now, you won't find a large expat community in Toluca, and that can actually be a big advantage because it's not a major expat hub like San Miguel de Allende or Puerto Vallarta. Now, Toluca offers a more local Mexican experience. You'll have the opportunity to fully immerse yourself in the culture, improve your Spanish, plus you won't be paying the inflated gringo prices for rent or services. And for many people moving to Mexico for a fresh start and a more affordable lifestyle. And that kind of authenticity and savings is exactly what they're looking for. So if you want to experience the real Mexico without the expat bubble, then a city like Toluca might just be the kind of place that you're looking for. So let's get into what kinds of neighborhoods and housing is available in Toluca. And now that we've talked about the city's authentic character, fantastic weather, you probably won't be surprised to hear that Toluca offers a great variety of safe and welcoming neighborhoods to call home, especially given its size. It's a large city. Now, this time we found 3 zones that are particularly appealing for newcomers. We'll start in the vibrant historic core of Toluca Centro, which is its downtown, and its classic Barrio de la Merced. Then we'll look at a couple of traditional, family-friendly residential areas just southwest of downtown. And finally, we're also going to explore the modern, artisanal vibe of the neighboring Pueblo Mágico, Metepec. Now, the first area we're exploring today is the heart and soul of the city, which is Toluca Centro and the adjacent Barrio de la Merced. This is a historic core where you'll find the famous arched walkways of Los Portales, the stunning Cosmo Vitral, and beautiful colonial-era plaza and churches. Now, the neighborhoods are a fascinating mix of 18th and 19th century architecture, so they're very charming. La Merced, in particular, is one of the city's most traditional barrios, giving you a strong sense of Toluca's history. But don't let the age of the buildings fool you. Many have been tastefully remodeled inside to offer all the comforts of modern life. Now here, the housing options are really diverse. You can find everything from modern, furnished lofts in new complexes to rooms in large, shared colonial homes. And the pricing is just going to vary depending on the type of home that you're going to be renting. But based on our research, as of June 2025, you can find furnished studios or small one-bedroom apartments starting at around 6,500 to 8,500 pesos, which is about 350 to 460 US dollars a month. It depends on the exchange rate. For something more modern, with more amenities like a loft in a new development that also has a gym on site and 24/7 security, prices are going to be closer to 11,000 to 14,000 pesos, which is roughly anywhere between 595 to 750 US dollars a month. For larger spaces, we found a multi-bedroom home and apartments that are for rent. For example, a basic unfurnished 3-bedroom apartment can be found for around 6,000 pesos, which is around 325 US dollars. And though it might need some more updates, it's a pretty good price considering how big it is. Now, if you want a large, nicely remodeled 4 or more bedroom house in a historic building, then you can expect to pay upwards of 20,000 pesos, which is around 1,050 USD a month. It really all depends on the level of remodeling and the amenities included, and then of course the exchange rate. Speaking of exchange rates, it's really important for you to have a budget to account for fluctuating exchange rates. And we really do recommend you renting on the lower end of your budget. That way, when the exchange rate is not so favorable to your Canadian or US dollar, you don't accidentally run out of money. Now, living in the centro gives you the unmatched benefit of being at the center of everything. It's considered a very walkable area where you can easily get to the main markets like Mercado 16 de Septiembre, countless shops, cafes, museums, and government buildings. Since it's a commercial and cultural hub, there is a strong police presence here, and it's well connected by public transport to get to and from any part of the city. Now, just keep in mind that the trade-off for all of these conveniences is the hustle and bustle and the noise. If you want to avoid the noise or traffic, vendors, the city events, then living right in the heart of Centro might not be for you. For our next stop, we're heading just southwest of the historic center to explore a couple of Toluca's most sought-after neighborhoods, starting with Colonia Cipres and Colonia Morelos. If you want a calmer, more family-oriented neighborhood, while still being close to good amenities, this is an area that you need to see. Now, what really defines this zone is its proximity to the beautiful Avenida Paseo Colón. And this is a wide, tree-lined boulevard that's perfect for a Sunday stroll and is brimming with some of the city's best outdoor cafes. It has charming restaurants and unique bakeries, so it gives the whole area a very relaxed but also sophisticated vibe. Housing here consists mainly of single-family homes, often with 2 or 3 stories, which are built from the mid to late 20th century, so they're way more modern. And you'll find quiet streets, small parks, and a strong neighborhood feel. It's a place where families have lived for generations, which creates a very safe and tight-knit community. Talking about rental prices, since this is a primarily family-oriented area, you'll find more houses and apartments. And just to give you an idea, a comfortable, well-located 3-bedroom house typically rents for around 10,000 to 17,000 pesos, which is anywhere between 540 to about 920 US dollars a month. Now, these are often unfurnished and perfect for those looking to settle in for a while. Now, if you would like more space, we have found larger 4 or 5-bedroom houses, sometimes with a really nice garden or larger garages. And these range between 17,000 to 25,000 pesos, which is anywhere between 945 to about 1,350 US dollars a month. Now, while smaller apartments aren't as common here as they are in the downtown or centro, you can occasionally find a two-bedroom unit for around 7,000 to 9,500 pesos, which is anywhere between 380 to about 515 USD with today's exchange rate. Now, the main benefit of living in Cypress or Morelos is its lifestyle. You get the peace and quiet of a residential suburb, but with the vibrant social life of Paseo Colón right at your doorstep. It's the kind of place where you can become a regular at your local coffee shop, while you can also walk to the centro. It's a bit of a longer stroll. So many residents here usually do have a car or they use ride-sharing services to get there. But for daily life, everything you need is right here. And finally, for our last stop, we're heading to an area that perfectly blends tradition with the modern upscale living, which is the Pueblo Mágico of Metepec. This is where you'll find that charming, colonial, colorful, small-town look with all the conveniences and amenities of a major suburb. Now, Metepec is also famous for its cobblestone streets, its vibrant plazas, and its world-known Árbol de la Vida pottery, which is a tree of life pottery. But what's fascinating is how this historic artisanal charm exists alongside a completely modern infrastructure. This is the area's biggest draw. One moment you can be buying handmade goods in a traditional market, and the next you're shopping at a modern mall or picking up groceries at Costco or a high-end city market. Now, it offers a truly unique best of both worlds lifestyle, complete with beautiful parks like the Parque Bicentenario and a lively calendar of cultural events. Now, within Metepec, you're going to focus on the highly sought-after residential zone that includes neighborhoods like Coaxustenco, and this is considered the Zona Dorada, or the Golden Zone, which is known for its gated communities, modern apartment complexes, and beautiful homes. Now, the housing here is geared towards modern comfort and security. You'll find everything from luxury high-rise apartments to really big homes inside fraccionamientos, which are gated communities. These usually have private security, clubhouses, shared green spaces, and everything that you would need to be able to host friends and family. Now, the rental prices here reflect the modern amenities and the higher quality of life. For example, a modern 2 to 3 bedroom apartment in a new development with amenities like a gym or a pool typically rents for 16,000 to 25,000 pesos, which is anywhere between 860 to about 1,350 USD. Now, for those wanting more space, there are larger 3 to 4 bedroom casonas or big houses within a gated community in areas like Coaxustenco or nearby San Carlos. And these usually start around 18,000 pesos a month, which is over 900 USD. Now, they can go up to 35,000 pesos or $1,800 or more, depending on how big they are, what kind of property it is, and those kinds of things. Now, living in Metepec, especially in these neighborhoods, is about convenience and overall quality of life. You have direct and quick access to major shopping centers like Town Square Metepec and Galerías Metepec. You also have access to top-tier schools and really good restaurants. It's a place that offers a polished, comfortable, and very safe environment without losing the cultural richness that makes Mexico so special. Now, what about utilities? Well, if you choose to live in Toluca Centro, Metepec, or any of the neighborhoods that we've recommended, you can expect reliable access to all your essential services. And the good news is, your monthly utility bill should be quite affordable here. Let me give you some examples. For starters, water is managed by the city's provider, Organismo Agua y Saneamiento de Toluca, and you're typically billed monthly or bi-monthly. For a 2-person household, the average usage, you can expect a bill between 250 to 450 pesos. That's between 15 to 25 US dollars a month. It's not much. Now, the National Power Company, CFE or CFE, bills for electricity every 2 months. And a huge advantage of Toluca's climate is that you will not need air conditioning, and you'll only use heating sparingly during the coldest winter nights. Some people don't even use heating at all. They just have an electric blanket, or they just use really good thermal socks. Now, this keeps electricity costs very low. For example, a typical bi-monthly bill should be anywhere between 350 to 600 pesos. You're looking at 20 to 32 US dollars, and often less if you're mindful about your usage. Now, for gas, which is used for cooking and water heaters, you'll rely on private companies. Some of the most common in the Toluca area are Gas Uribe, Gas Metropolitano, and Regio Gas. Now, a 30-kilo tank, which is a common size, currently costs around 590 to 620 pesos, which is anywhere between 32 to 35 USD. And depending on how much you cook, a single tank can easily last 2 to 3 months. Now, for internet, you'll find a lot of really great options. The main fiber optic providers are Telmex, TotalPlay, Izzy, and Megacable, all of which have a strong presence in the main residential area. So don't worry, if you live in any one of these neighborhoods, you should have easy access to any one of these internet providers. Now, to give you an idea, a 100 megabytes per second speed package will cost anywhere between 450 to 600 pesos a month. That's anywhere between 25 to 32 US dollars. Now, if you need faster speeds, 1 gigabyte per second download speed packages are available and will cost around 1,300 to 1,500 pesos, which is anywhere between 70 to $80 a month. So to total it up, for a couple, a reasonable monthly budget for all essential utilities will be anywhere between 1,100 to 1,600 pesos. You're looking at 60 to 87 US dollars for utilities all in. Now, real quick before we get into shopping and medical options in Toluca, if living in Toluca has sparked your interest, or if you're just starting to explore where to live in Mexico, we highly recommend renting first before buying any property. So make sure you grab our free rental tips email series. The link is in the description of this video. In that series, I share insider tips to avoid common rental mistakes, how to spot a good deal, what websites to use, and the right way to rent a home in Mexico, even if you don't know Spanish. It's everything I wish I had known before I started helping thousands of people move here. So just head to the link in the description of this video or in the comments section, sign up with your email, and you'll get the first email right away. It's 100% free and packed with practical advice that you can use immediately. Okay, now switching gears, let's talk about one of the most important parts of daily life, and that is grocery shopping. So how easy is it to get fresh produce and daily essentials in Toluca? Well, let's start with buying local. One of Toluca's greatest strengths is its access to incredible local markets. If you want the authentic, fresh from the farm to your table experience, the Centro is going to be your best bet. Now, the undisputed king is the Mercado 16 de Septiembre, or the 16th of September. It's a massive, vibrant market where you can find absolutely everything. You find fresh vegetables, fruits, butcher shops, cremerias, which sells dairies, cheeses, and some deli items. You also have food stalls serving up delicious local dishes. And walking through the surrounding streets, you'll also find countless specialty shops for bread, hardware, and so much more. It's really the best area for the traditional shopping experience. Now, over in Metepec, the dynamic is similar. While it has modern supermarkets, the heart of the community is truly its traditional tianguis and mercado artesanal. On Mondays, the main tianguis, which is basically a pop-up street market, sets up, and it's a fantastic place to buy produce directly from the local farmers and from the local people who live in the area. Now, you do find unique household goods and soak in the lively atmosphere. It's truly an experience that I think everyone should have. Now, for supermarkets, if you prefer the convenience of a one-stop shop, Toluca and Metepec are fully equipped with all the big box supermarkets that you could possibly need. You'll have all the major Mexican chains like Soriana, Chedraui, Bodega Aurrera, which is, by the way, owned by Walmart, and they're scattered throughout the city and its residential neighborhoods. Now, speaking of Walmart, there are several supercenters in key locations. And a fantastic local tip is to get familiar with Garis. This is a very popular regional chain of grocery and convenience stores, and they are everywhere in Toluca. They're a great option for picking up essentials quickly without having to go to a huge supermarket, and they have a surprisingly good selection of goods at very affordable prices. Now, for those who love bulk shopping or are seeking more international products, you'll be happy to know that there's a Costco in Metepec. Now, if for organic and more gourmet options, the demand for organic and specialty products has definitely arrived in this area. And in Metepec, you can find the high-end supermarket City Market, which is known for its gourmet products, extensive wine selection, and high-quality organic produce. It's the go-to place for those hard-to-find ingredients. And it's also very clean and very beautiful inside, so it's just one of those stores that is really fun to shop in. Now, beyond the big stores, we found several dedicated organic and health food shops. For example, in Colonia Morelos, there's a great little store called Manduquer Orgánico, which even has an online store, and Metepec has spots like Estado Natural in the Town Square Mall. And these stores offer everything from vegan products, gluten-free items, to local, artisanal, and chemical-free produce. So you're well covered no matter your dietary needs. So what happens when you get sick? Well, when it comes to healthcare, you'll be glad to know that the Toluca metropolitan area is very well equipped. It has a great mix of public hospitals, also excellent private clinics and hospitals. You have top-tier private hospitals like Centro Médico de Toluca and Hospital MAC, which provides excellent care and a wide range of specialists that practice on-site. So no matter where you decide to live, you'll have a high-quality medical facility nearby. Now, for smaller non-emergency issues, you can rely on the super convenient local pharmacies. And these include chains like Farmacias del Ahorro or Farmacias Guadalajara, which are on almost every corner. And most have a doctor on site who can treat minor illnesses for a very small consultation fee for less than $3. Now, it's an incredibly practical and affordable option for everyday health concerns, and you don't need to have insurance, you don't need to have an appointment, you just walk in. Now, probably one of the biggest questions you have is how easy is it to get around in the Toluca area, and do you need a car? Well, let's start with driving. Now, unlike some other mid-sized cities in Mexico, driving here can be a challenge. Toluca is a big state capital, big city. The traffic can get very heavy, especially during rush hour. Now, what about going car-free? Well, it really does depend on where you live. You see, if you stay in Toluca Centro, you can absolutely get by without a car. The historic core is really a pleasure to walk and, get to know its classical streets. Plus, the weather, again, is so favorable that it doesn't get too hot. Now, in Metepec, the Charmin Historic Center is also very walkable. However, to get to the modern shopping malls like Town Square or Galerías Metepec, or if you live in one of the newer residential communities, you will likely need to have either your own car or use something like Uber and Didi. Now, the local public bus system is extensive, with routes covering the entire metro area, but it can definitely be a bit chaotic, especially if you're not used to taking the bus. The buses are numerous and frequent, but their network can be confusing to navigate at first, especially if you don't speak Spanish. It's a very local experience and the most affordable way to get around, but perhaps not the most comfortable. While I do think that you should try it out at least once, I don't know that you might be using it on a recurring basis. It just depends on how adventurous you are. And again, Uber and Didi are widely available throughout Toluca and Metepec. And this is actually what we would recommend for most of your trips. Now, while Toluca has a lot going for it, it's not for everyone, and I want to be upfront about that. First of all, the high altitude and cooler climate can be really tough to adjust to, especially if you're coming from sea level or warmer areas. It can feel dry and chilly, especially in the mornings and evenings. Second, traffic congestion is a real issue, particularly during rush hours along with main avenues like Paseo Toyocan. So if you plan to drive, be ready for some frustrating delays. And finally, it's not a major expat hub. So day-to-day life here really does require at least some basic Espanol. And you won't find as many English-speaking services or communities as you would in places like San Miguel de Allende or Puerto Vallarta. But for the right person, these cons might actually be part of the appeal. And well, there you have it. What do you think? I would love to know, did Toluca get your attention? Now, I personally think the city is a really good overlooked option. It has so much potential. It offers a unique quality of life that blends really authentic tradition with modern comfort, year-round temperate weather, and amazing mountain type of fresh air. It's truly a hidden gem. So let me know in the comments if you think Toluca is right for you. Now, you don't have to figure this all out alone. For expert guidance, visit us at Mexico Relocation Guide.com, where you can subscribe to our free newsletter and check out the resources that we have to help you out. And hey, if you like this tour of Toluca, don't forget to give my video a like. You'll help YouTube see that this video is valuable and help my channel get more visits. So that's it for today, amigos. Thank you so much for watching. This is not goodbye, just an hasta luego. I will see you all in our next video. Nos vemos!